So then the emotions don't populate, the identity does not populate, the energetic feeling does not populate. Hey, welcome back to Uncivilized Rebirth. Here is a place where I share really cool things that I've learned and techniques that I've developed about healing. That could be from childhood abuse, that could be from wartime trauma, that could be from a disease, that could be from the family court system, which is incredibly traumatic. So basically, I think that my life was like, I'm a good figure outer. So it's like, I'm going to be tormented for 41 years or 42 years, and then I'm going to be presenting how to help people through that. So I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about today, and I came to the conclusion I'm going to talk about reformatting memories again, because that is such a powerful tool when it comes to trauma. Now, sometimes people will traumatize us on purpose because we can see things happen where we will be befriended, people will be kind, and that basically these people are like luring us in, and then they'll attack. You know, it's like a predator with a child. Predators do this with adults also. They'll lure them in, they'll be kind, they'll be friendly, and then they subtly do something totally effed up that is not recorded, that nobody else knows about. And then when the person gets mad, they're like, oh, they're just acting out. I don't know why they're acting that way. And I say this because I've lived through this many times. My parents did this to me. I have a neighbor that did this trash to me. These are Christian people that did this garbage. And the only way I found to make it through that is because their power is me remembering what was done to me. And then they invalidate it, so I get mad. So then they can sit back and be like, oh, he's irrational, you know? And this is done to many, many different people. Here is what I found to make it through that. It's not letting that memory have power over us anymore. How do you do that? You reformat that memory, because a memory has a ton of coding in it. It has the emotional coding in it, it has the identity coding in it, and then it has the visual, and then it has the auditory, and then it has the like energetic feeling to it as well. So you take all that and it gets compacted into a coding that gets stored into the brain. So it's basically like a file that gets stored with a heavy amount of coding. So it's a difference between looking at a Blu-ray DVD code and then you look at the words on a book, which has like, it's so much more simpler. You just write it. It's so much more complex to do the coding on a DVD with Dolby Digital surround sound. And that's basically what's done with the trauma. Like you have this Dolby DVD surround sound file. And the way it gets accessed is when you see that person, or when they'll say this subtle little thing that they know triggers you, because some parents are wicked evil. And they know their child very well, and they know the torment they put that child through, and they'll say the subtlest little thing that they know nobody else can see what's going on and knows about it, but that child was targeted specifically, and then they're an adult so they can continue poking. Then that memory pops up, and in that memory you have all of that stuff plays out, and then the identity temporarily gets superimposed on your identity currently. How do you overcome that? Because your identity can go back to just that feeling like that little helpless child. Here's how you overcome that. When that memory comes back up, don't fight it. Don't fight it. Embrace it. And imagine that you're opening up a book. And then in that book is a blank page, and you start writing out just a little bit of what happened. They said this. They know they did this to me. This happened. And this is how I feel, and they're invalidating me. And basically write it out. So now what is starting to happen is that traumatic memory is getting turned into just like a really simple code for the brain to store. But the magic is when you're writing this in your mind, and it takes a lot of visualizing and it takes effort, but imagine you're about 80 or 90 years old and you're writing your memoirs, and that you know for a fact this story is going to help people, and that you are healed and you are whole. You have no issues. So now, every time that memory comes back, you go back to that page and you add a little bit to that story that you're writing out. And you visualize. So you know how when you read a book, let's say like Lord of the Rings, and you're like, you read about Aragorn and Gandalf or whatever, and they're walking across the mountains, and all that starts going off in your brain. You see this ranger and this wizard, you see the mountains. Reverse that. So basically, you're taking all these visuals and you're putting it into words in your mind. And you're taking that memory and you're making it very small and simple. And then this new memory has the coding or the identity of being healed and being part of your story that gives you power. And your brain starts following this pattern. So then what starts to happen, you automatically start opening up a book in your brain and you start writing and adding to it a little bit if you need to. And then you close it away or close it up and you put it away. And your brain is creating these pathways that mimic your visualizing. So now you're becoming empowered and you're taking away people's power to get inside your head. Because here's the thing, we live in a jacked up world and people will do trauma on purpose to a person to control them. And then they will bring it up over the years in subtle ways to mess with them. People are evil, like straight up evil. Not all of them, but everybody's capable of good and evil. But when this evil is specifically taught, that makes it wicked. But we can't do anything about it. We can't change those people. Like, they've made their life choices. They've chosen to be wicked, cruel, evil people. But we have to choose, are we gonna succumb to their manipulation of us and just become wild and reckless? Or are we going to get disciplined and get focused and say, F you, you wicked people. You're literally going to have to kill me to make me quit. Other than that, I'm going to drive on. And I have these tools and techniques that you have no idea where I got them. And it makes you mad. But I shall navigate the garbage you put me through. So try this. The next time you're remembering that memory that you don't like, don't fight it. Imagine you're in a library. Imagine you're about 80 or 90 and you are healed, you are wonderful, and you are just helping people heal. And you write your memoirs. And you just take little pieces of that memory and you start writing them down. And you're taking that really, really thick amount of coding and you're putting it down to a very simple code. And when you feel good about it, close it up and put the book away. And here's a great thing to do also. Validate your emotions. Be like, you know what? It's okay for me to be angry. This was a wicked thing that was done. It's okay to feel this way. Close the book up in your mind, then put it away. And every time that memory comes up, you pull the book out. Make sure you're in the library. Make sure you visualize yourself as healed and as an older version of yourself, because the identity is so crucial. So crucial. You're reformatting the identity to being powerful. And then you put this book away with that memory written down into the story. And you're literally changing the formatting. So now when that memory comes up, you can see it literally as words in your mind. So then the emotions don't populate. The identity does not populate. The energetic feeling does not populate. And all of the visuals do not populate. And the sound does not populate. Because that is taking up there's like this function of the brain that can do memories. So let's say like you have a wire that can plug in a memory and it will play this thing. It's like your projector. Or you can take your creativity juices and you plug it into this center and it opens up. And then that's your seeing stuff being made in your mind when you get creative. But when somebody is able to trigger you to access that traumatic memory, then it goes over here and it plays and it takes up all this processing power in your brain. But it's your brain. Now it's time to take control over who has control over your processing power. And when you start cutting all of these people out of your energy and out of your mind, and they no longer have access to those memories to be able to trigger them, you become empowered in a way that you can't imagine. And what starts to happen is you can focus on something and be like, what should I do about this? And then your brain's like, oh, I have all access to this, and starts creating these solutions because your brain is phenomenal. I hope that makes sense. It is free. Try it. It will not hurt anything whatsoever. It's empowering. Roadhouse, Spiritual Hard.